everyone. I'm still just getting my space ready for today. I know it's sunny and it's getting warmer out this week, but I was feeling I still wanted some soup. There's a lot of snow and ice on the ground still, particularly really just where the sun is not hitting, because it's warming up, but it's not warm enough to melt some of the ice and snow where there's no direct sun, like my driveway. Half of my driveway is melted. The other half sees no sun. So I feel like that's the perfect reason to have some soup. The soup we're making today is a take on an egg drop soup. It's Thai inspired. It's called Silky Egg Breakfast Soup. I guess it's a breakfast soup because, well, in this particular cookbook, it's in the breakfast chapter, but a lot of, in our culture, we tend to associate eggs with breakfast, but also, so first of all, we're cooking from the Easy Dairy-Free Ketogenic Recipe cookbook by Maria Emmerich. I don't eat ketogenic, but I am usually grain-free and I am usually dairy-free, so this cookbook definitely helps with that, because a lot of ketogenic things are just naturally grain-free. But I don't count my carbs and stuff. Life is too short, in my opinion, to count carbs. So, so the Silky Egg Breakfast Soup, the author says, in many countries such as Thailand, savory soups for breakfast are quite common. The more I thought about it, the more I realized how comforting a warm bowl of soup on a cold winter morning would be. So there are some Thai-inspired flavors such as fish sauce and the lime in here, but it is egg, so it's like egg drop soup combined with breakfast. So we're gonna make that. The first thing that we need to do is, and this is tons of protein. This is so good for you. First thing that we need to do is we need to heat up some, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Okay. I needed for it to pass and not want to sneeze on my food, is to heat up some chicken broth, some bone broth. I have this classic bone broth from Kettle and Fire right here. I do need to shake it up though. Let's shake it up. Okay. All right, so we need 2 cups of this. I'm going to put it on the stove, and we're going to get that to a boil, and then we'll worry about the eggs. Not worry, we'll work on the eggs. This should be a pretty quick recipe. I'm actually really excited about that. Just something that's nice and quick, and it doesn't take too much time. And this makes 2 servings, so I can have this for dinner later as well. And it does use, in addition to the eggs for protein, it does also use leftover meat, whatever leftover meat you would like to have. So this one says chicken, diced leftover cooked chicken. So I actually have some that I had for lunch yesterday. But you can use rotisserie chicken, you can use leftover whatever meat that you have that you think would go well with this, go for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on. This boil. In the meantime, I have 5 eggs, 4 eggs, and 1 already cracked because I just saved it from the doom of falling on the floor. So I have 1 egg already in here. We're gonna crack the rest of them. All right, let me move this cookbook over here so we can put this bowl here so you can kind of see what I'm doing, which is just cracking eggs, which is really easy. I've made an egg drop soup before, and it's surprising when you make it homemade how filling it is. If you're using a good quality broth, if you're using a lot of eggs, you're adding a little bit of fat from maybe like an oil or something into it. It's a really, really surprisingly filling. I mean, it's a lot of protein. And if you want to, you can add some veggies on the side. But I was surprised at how filling it was, because I guess I think of the egg drop soup or any egg soups that you would get from takeout, and they're not that filling. There's a lot of like broth, and it's kind of thick and weird, and there's a little bit of egg. But this, you control how much egg you have, and there's a lot of egg in it. There's a lot of protein, which is awesome. Okay, probably could have used a smaller pot, but my smaller pot is in the sink. So I'm just going to go ahead and whisk this together. I want it to be a nice homogeneous mixture. I don't want any egg white visible. I just want it to be nice and smooth. So I'm just going to go ahead and whisk this. I feel like I've been watching a lot of cooking shows lately. I mean, I have always liked cooking shows. That's kind of been a thing since I was in elementary school. My mom and I used to watch cooking shows together every night. And then I just started watching them on my own. Because that was what I did. Instead of watching cartoons, I watched cooking shows. Food Network was on heavy rotation in my room, along with The Nanny and some cartoons. But what was I saying about that? Now I'm just thinking about how I watched cooking shows all the time. And how funny that was for me as a kid. Like that was me as a kid. But yeah, so I've been watching, there we go. I watching a lot of cooking shows, and I was watching old episodes of Worst Cooks in America on Hulu, and they were showing them just the basics, how to cook eggs, and it must have been Chef Ann Burrell was yelling at them, like, you can still see some pockets of egg whites in here, and when you're trying to make a scramble, that doesn't lead to a good creamy scrambled egg if you have pockets of that protein. You really need to whisk it up, and you really need to make sure that you don't see any of that egg white in there. So that's what I'm thinking of right now as I continue to whisk and whisk and whisk, waiting for this bone broth to boil. I mean, it looks pretty good. I'm going to be lazy and disappoint all of the Food Network chefs and just leave it. But yeah, I'll probably have some veggies on the side. I have some bell peppers, I have some frozen broccoli. I actually have some kale, and I think there's a recipe for delicious barbecue flavored kale chips in one of the cookbooks that I just got, which I've used on here a few times, but I bought a copy for myself. You can see my cookbook collection over here. I was meal planning for myself this morning, and then also there's another, actually no, that's the pile for here. That's the pile for book cooks, and then right off camera is my personal meal prep, meal planning cookbook pile, which includes some of those too, actually. But so, I don't know if you can actually see what the titles are, but those are some of the things that we will be cooking from in March, because now it's going to be March. Surprise, surprise. And I'm starting to get some bubbles. I can smell, it's lovely, the chicken broth. Alright, so let's see exactly what it says. I think it just says to like continuously whisk. Slowly add the beaten eggs while whisking the broth. Reduce the heat to low and cook for 2 more minutes. Then you're going to add some fish sauce, chicken. Continue cooking until the chicken is heated through. Then taste, add salt if needed. Probably not if you're using fish sauce. And then you can garnish with, and you can actually, then that's pretty much it. You can be done with it, and you can top it with some scallions, some lime juice or lime wedges, and some ground peppers. This will be really quick. I love a good quick recipe, but like I said, this is a pretty complete recipe. It seems to have a lot of protein. Seems to be really good for you. The eggs have their own natural fat in there. How much fish sauce before I let this close? 2.5 tablespoons of fish sauce, which is kind of a lot, but gives you the flavor you're looking for. Okay, so this is definitely bubbling and boiling, so I'm going to stir this in very slowly. I guess because I'm going slowly, it's kind of, I almost want to say emulsifying, instead of having big chunks of egg strands like you might see in a takeout egg soup. And so I guess that's where it's the smooth that we saw in the description. Yeah, there are really no big chunks in here. It's kind of this, I'll bring the camera a little closer so you can see. I'm just going to turn it down to be as low as we can go. And we'll put this in the sink. Wash my hands. Okay, I'll bring the camera a little closer so you can see what it looks like. All right, there it is. So you can see it's kind of thick, but it's not like brothy and droppy like a takeout soup is. And I guess this is because you're whisking it continuously. I guess if you were to just kind of like drop, like egg drop soup it in, you would get those strands that you see in a takeout soup. But this is supposed to be smooth and creamy. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my fish sauce. How much fish sauce? I think I read that wrong in my head. Let's see. There it is. Tablespoons? No, I was right, tablespoons. I was like, should that be teaspoons or tablespoons? Because it's a lot of fish sauce. But when you combine it with the lime juice that you add at the end, it makes a big difference in flavor. I always say, I know people are kind of scared of fish sauce, but the umami flavor that you get from it, you can't compare. Okay, so I have my can of chicken. I had this, like I said, for lunch yesterday, and I saved it for this. So I'm gonna just kind of shred it up, crumble it up into my pot, because we just want the chicken to warm through and combine, especially with that fish sauce flavor. Lots and lots of protein in this soup. This is great. All right, let me wash my hands and put this in the sink. Okay, I'm gonna stir this all together. Chunky. I feel like my eggs cooked a little too much already. But my stove is very hot. Runs very, very hot, so. Got my chicken in there. I mean, we're like really almost done. I have some scallions. I'm gonna chop some of those up, and because I have them frozen, I'm gonna add them in before I serve. You would, if yours are fresh, you would just top it, but I'm gonna chop mine up and put them in so that the flavor mixes a little bit and so that it helps to thaw them out. So I'll be right back. You can hear me chopping. I'm right over here. And I'm just gonna use a little bit of the green part and a little bit of the white part. I'll do both. All right, I'm coming back with my scallions. I'm just gonna toss them right on in here and give everything a stir again. It is. It did get kind of chunky. Mine did not stay silky like it is in the book. But I think that might be because my stove is too hot. I don't know. All right, let's see. Yeah, it doesn't need to cook for long. I think we're like done here. Stirring beaten eggs while whisking the broth. Cook fish sauce, chicken, taste, and add salt. Then add the lime juice, and then we pour into bowls, garnish with a little bit of pepper, and we're done. So let me get a spoon and my bowl. I'm gonna give it a little taste just for salt to see if I need any salt. Actually, it looks pretty good now. No, but it needs the lime juice and the pepper. It does not need any salt for me at this point. I'm going to squeeze some lime juice in here. Definitely needs a little bit of acid. Stir that. Yeah, mine does not look like the picture. Oh well. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat off and move this off of the heat. I get my ladle. This is probably the quickest recipe I've ever done, right? We're only like 18 minutes in. So I'm going to ladle that in, top it with a little more lime juice and some pepper. A little bit more lime juice and some fresh black pepper. Can mix some of that in and then top it with a little bit more. Wow, this is the quickest recipe I've ever done. This is so quick. This is a great, easy dinner. Or lunch or breakfast or whatever you want this protein for. This is what it looks like. Hang on. And sorry, one of my friends just got engaged and I just got that message on my phone. So yay! That's so exciting. I can tell her that the reaction to this while I'm not texting her is on this video. It's so exciting. I love good news like that. That's so exciting. Okay, so, all right, so this is my soup. I'm gonna give it a taste and then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna text my friend congratulations because I am so excited. Let's see how this tastes. It's very hot though right now. Oh, it's good. I think the lime juice is really good. I can taste the lime and I can taste the fish sauce. But the lime definitely balances out the fish sauce. I think I want more black pepper though. Definitely does not need any more salt. Not that it's too salty, but the fish sauce kind of does it on its own, so you don't need to worry about over salting or under salting. It's really good. I'm gonna enjoy. This is really good to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna eat this. So there you go, breakfast soup with eggs, or you can have it for lunch or dinner, full of protein and full of flavor. Ooh, the black pepper is so good. Especially you do like a fresh ground black pepper and they're like big chunks of pepper. That's really good with the lime juice. So that's amazing, that's delicious. I'm really pleased with this soup and I have plenty for dinner tonight. Nice. All right, so again, we cooked today from this easy dairy-free ketogenic recipe. You don't need to be doing a keto diet to follow this if you just are looking to eat healthier foods and you're dairy-free. This is it's good to look at all different kinds of like diet or specialty books, because you may find recipes in there that you love that fit your lifestyle, your diet changes that you need, whatever it is. And you don't necessarily need to follow like less than 20 carbs a day. I certainly don't. All right, that is it for me today, everyone. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay warm, enjoy the sunshine, and I'll see you next time. Bye.